Welcome back to the Linux for Beginners series. In our previous video, we learned about Linux processes, programs that are currently running. But some programs like SSH, web server, and database servers need to keep running in the background and often start automatically whenever Linux boots. These are called services. In this video, we will learn what services are, how systemd manages them, and how to use the systemctl command to control them. Let's first understand what a Linux service is. When Linux starts, many important programs also start automatically. These background programs are called services. Without services, we would have to manually start every important program after every reboot. A service is simply a program that runs in the background. Unlike applications such as a text editor or a web browser, services usually don't have a graphical interface. Background program runs without needing a visible window. There is no user intervention. Once started, it works automatically. Many services start during system reboot. Services provide functionality. For example, the SSH service allows remote login and the Nginx service serves web pages. Let's see the difference between a process and a service. A process is any running program. For example, opening a text editor creates a process. A service is a special type of process designed to run continuously in the background. For example, the SSH server keeps running all day, waiting for someone to connect. In summary, every service is a process, but not every process is a service. This is a very important distinction you should have to keep in mind. When Linux boots, one of the first programs that start is systemd. Systemd is responsible for starting, stopping, monitoring, and managing services. It is also the first process on most modern Linux distributions. Systemctl is the command line tool we use to communicate with systemd. Whenever we want to start, stop, restart, or check a service, we usually use the systemctl command. These are common systemctl commands. Systemctl status nginx shows whether the service is currently running. Systemctl start nginx starts the service immediately. Systemctl stop nginx stops the service. Systemctl restart nginx stops and then restarts the service again. You will often restart a service after changing its configuration. Systemctl reload nginx reloads configuration without fully stopping the service if the application supports it. Similarly, systemctl enable nginx configures the service to start automatically whenever Linux boots. And systemctl disable nginx prevents the service from starting automatically during reboot. This diagram shows the typical life cycle of a Linux service. We first install the software. Then we choose whether it should start automatically or not. We start the service. After that, it continues running in the background. We restart it after, for example, configuration changes. We stop it when it's no longer needed. Let's first confirm that systemd is managing the system. The command for it is ps-p1. Process ID 1 is usually systemd on modern Linux systems. Let's check whether Nginx service is running. And we can see that it is active and running. And its main PID is or process ID is 1409. Now let's stop it. The command for it is sudo systemctl stop nginx and verify it again. Now we can see that it is inactive. If the isn't running, then we can start it. The command for it is sudo systemctl start and the service name, for example nginx. Let's verify the status again. Now we can see that it's active and running. And the difference is that the main PID is changed. Now it is 4548. If we have to restart a service, restarting is one of the most common administrative tasks. An example of it is after editing a configuration file. The command is sudo systemctl restart service name and we can verify the status. It's active and running and it's restarted 2 seconds ago. Now Linux will start Nginx automatically every time. To prevent it automatically, we can use disable command sudo systemctl disable nginx and we can see that it is disabled. If we want the service to start immediately when the Linux boots, we can enable it. And verify. Now it is enabled. This command does not start the service immediately. Instead, it tells Linux to automatically start the service during the next boot. To list the running services, we can use command systemctl list units type service state running. The output shows all the running services on the system. For example, we can see the network manager service and the cron service. Here are a few common mistakes. Number one, thinking enable starts the service. Enable affects future boots while start affects the current session. Similarly, using stop when actually we mean disable. Stop affects the current session while disable affects the future boots. Mistake 2 is restarting services without checking configuration changes. Another mistake is forgetting to verify service status after making changes. Here is a quick reference of the commands we have learned today. If you want to copy these commands, please pause the video. Systemctl status to view status, systemctl start to start the service, systemctl stop service, restart to restart service, reload configuration, enable start at boot, disable don't start at boot. Let's summarize today's lesson. Services are long-running background programs. Systemd manages services. Systemctl is used to control them. Start and stop affect the current session. Enable and disable affect future boots. Now that we know how Linux manages services, the next step is learning how systems communicate over a network. In the next video, we will explore Linux networking bases and use commands like IP, ping, and ss to understand network configuration and connectivity. Thank you for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, please like the video and subscribe to follow the complete Linux for Beginners series. And I will see you in the next lesson.